Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is BrittanyNichole. I have hooded eyes and I tend to do a lot of hooded eye tutorials. However, today we are trying out one of the hottest new products I feel like here on YouTube, and that is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation. So quick backstory, I went to like 5 of the Ultas in my area and I live in Chicago and none of them had them. I finally found one at a different Ulta that I don't tend to go to, which is really weird considering it's been all over YouTube. But I finally found it and I had a very hard time color matching myself. I'm very fair right now. I have no self-tan on, so it was pretty difficult to try to find my foundation. I would think I would have been in the lower like Fs. All of the foundations had like F1, F2, F3. I think it maybe went to like 14 or 15, and like F2 ended up being way too light. Then I'd go to like F4 and that was too dark, and then finally I settled on F7, so I'm hoping that matches here. Another thing is I got a new camera. This is my first time trying it out and I have had a hell of a morning. I shattered one of my soft boxes, which is awesome, so I'm using a lot of natural light and then some floodlights, which is what I used to use like years and years ago when I started YouTube. So yes, bear with me through the color. I have my ISO up a little bit. I'm hoping this looks okay, and I'm also dealing with a new camera, so bear with me. But let's go ahead and just get into this. So I'm gonna zoom myself in. So we are nice and close here, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm hoping that this color is okay for me. So I'm gonna use a beauty blender on one side of my face and then a brush. For those of you who use a brush, I'm using a Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 on one side, and then I'm just gonna use my Morphe sponge, which is the first one I grabbed out of my drawer of sponges. So let's go ahead and start out with the beauty blender. I did prime my face with the Pores No More Luminizing Primer from Dr. Brandt. I've heard from different reviews that this is a little more on the matte side, and when it's kind of getting colder out, which is what it is doing in Chicago, I think it's like 50 degrees today, my skin tends to get a little dry as it adjusts, so I figured I'd go in with a luminizing primer. So we'll start out on this side, and I have no idea how much coverage I need. I think that's a little dark, if you guys can see from my skin, but it's okay, I'll just blend it down the neck. Hopefully it doesn't oxidize. Looks a little too warm for me, but let's just see how it works. No, I think that's a beauty blender. I was gonna say it smells kind of lemony, but I think that's my beauty blender. Looks like the sun is kind of going down, so sorry I'm using a lot of natural light if the light changes. Blending out really fast and is setting down really fast. I definitely wouldn't say that's full coverage right off of the bat. Get a little closer here. I'd say that's more like a medium coverage. I feel like I can still see the redness in my cheek area, but we'll definitely try to build it up. I actually feel like the color isn't horrible. It's slightly darker. It doesn't look super matte. Like, I feel like it almost looks like I have a little bit of a glow right there, which is nice, but that might be kind of towards the primer. So let's try to build this up, and you definitely have to work fast because this does dry down. All right, so after building that up, I do feel like it's almost a full coverage. However, once I started building it up, I feel like my forehead is not looking so great. It's kind of sitting heavy in the middle of my brows. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that on camera. And I feel like it's already starting to crease on my nose right here. So I'm not sure how I feel about it right now. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I love this right now. So let's go ahead and try to do the other side with the brush. And I'm gonna spray my brush with a setting spray because I don't like the grip of a dry brush. So I always just kind of spray and then touch it on the back of my hand. So let's give this a shot. All right, right off the bat, I feel like there's way more coverage with the brush. Yeah, definitely more coverage with the brush. I don't think I need to go in with another coat. So this might be one of those foundations that you just have to go in with a brush. It might absorb too much. It's really not the right shade, so I'm really blending it down my neck, and I have a white shirt on, which is awesome. So yeah, I would definitely choose the brush over this. I just want to kind of tap over the edges with the sponge because I feel like it's almost looking a little too heavy because I went in with more of a heavy hand after doing this side and seeing I could use it. So I'm just gonna kind of use the Beauty Blender to smooth, but I still feel like it's already started, and I literally just put this on. I feel like it's starting to crease. So maybe I just need to use a different kind of primer in my kind of like fine line areas. I also got foundation all over my phone. So be careful because the applicator is a little messy. I don't really care that it's a like dip over and over and put on your face because I don't put makeup on a dirty face, so I don't mind that at all. But yeah, this is what everything is looking like. Let me zoom in again so you guys can see everything way up close. All right, so that is a super, super close zoom. Once again, Beauty Blender side, which I feel like is slightly sticky, like almost matte to where I wouldn't have to apply a powder over it, but I think I will set a little bit. This side is definitely still more sticky. This is the brush side. So, I mean, overall effect, since I built this side up, I feel like they look the same. Almost feeling like it looks a little heavier. Like I said, on the brush side, probably because I went in with too much. The forehead is still a little dry looking, but like I said, my skin tends to change when it kind of turns cold. I err on the more dry side. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup at this point, and I will meet you right back here and tell you if my thoughts on this have changed. All right, you guys, I finished up the rest of my face. I'll say I finished my makeup around 10 o'clock. It's just about 11 o'clock right now. I always try to rush through my makeup when I'm doing this, but it always ends up taking longer than normal. So it's been about an hour since I started wearing the foundation, and there's a couple things that are already really sticking out to me. I'll try to put in like a closer up zoom footage in here as I'm talking through it. My smile lines are already super creased, and that rarely happens to me, like ever. I try to even pat them out with my Beauty Blender and they are stuck. So I'm a little worried about that. My nose looks really, really dry. I have a dry nose, but this is really emphasizing the dryness, and the same thing on the middle of my forehead. That's really emphasized right now. Other than that, my cheek area looks really nice. I like how that looks a lot. I really like how everything blended over it. It feels super light, even though I did apply a heavy coverage with the brush on one side and then 2 coats on the other side with the Beauty Blender. It feels super light, and I really do like this finish. It truly is a demi-matte finish like they claim. So yeah, overall, do I think I would wear this foundation again? No, but maybe it'll wear better through the day. Again, you have to think about your skin type and what your skin does. If you have more oily skin, this might not work for you. It might work for you. It all depends on your skin, and I'll get into that at the end. But as far as my nose, my forehead, and my smile lines, they're looking a little rough right now. So yeah, I'm gonna potentially do a check-in in the middle of the day, but I'm going to a pumpkin patch, so I'm not sure if that'll work out. If not, I will come back in like 6 to 8 hours because that's my typical foundation wear. So right now I'm a little like, I hope it wears a little better. I hope these smile lines pick up and don't get worse, but we will see. All right, you guys, I'm outside in natural light and I'm really looking at my foundation. It's been an hour and 45 minutes since I applied it, and it is looking really, really rough. So I'm gonna zoom in here so you guys can see everything up close. This crease is really bad. I'm looking in the viewfinder, which is why I'm looking that way. My nose looks so dry and patchy, and the same with my forehead. We decided not to go to the pumpkin patch and we went to go get coffee, and I'm just gonna keep kind of showing you guys as I talk here, and biscuits, and I looked at myself outside in the car and I was honestly embarrassed to go out like this. So as you can see from a distance, it's not so bad, but when you really get up and look at it, it is really, really rough. So at this point, I don't like it at all. I don't see it redeeming itself, and I'm very confused on why this has such a hype on YouTube at this point, because my skin is not excessively dry. It's really normal, except for on my nose area, like I was talking about. So I don't know why this is looking so dry on me. If you have oily skin, maybe it would work for you, but yeah. I'm pretty embarrassed to go out at this point, but I'm gonna keep holding on, and I will check in with you guys in like 5 or 6 hours. So it is now 5 o'clock p.m. I've been wearing the foundation for 7 hours and I cannot wait to take this off. It looks really bad on my skin. Like I said in the check-in, it looked bad pretty much, I mean, right away it looked bad on my nose and my forehead area, but it looked really, really bad in that check-in, and it really hasn't gotten too much better. I feel like some of the oils are peeking through on my skin a little bit, so like the smile lines, they're definitely still prevalent as far as the creasing, but it's not quite as prevalent as it was because the natural oils are kind of starting to pop up from my skin. However, I'll insert some footage of like super close in view, and this camera I feel like really shows the details, so you guys are getting all up close and personal with me today. But the forehead, the cheeks around my pores, and like right here specifically looks so bad and rough and patchy. All we did was like go to get some coffee and run some errands, so I wasn't even really outside too much in the elements. I had my sunglasses on for maybe a total of 15 minutes today, and it's really patchy right in that area. I don't know what that is, if it's not playing nicely with my concealer. By the way, I'll list all my makeup details for the rest of what I had on below. I do have on the Makeup Revolution Emily Edit the Wants palette, which I absolutely love. But this foundation is definitely a pass for me. It does not look good. It still does feel lightweight, which is nice, but it just looks so heavy and cakey. The only area where it still looks okay is pretty much right around here and on my like high points of my cheek, and right here, I guess, in my temple area. Everywhere else just looks bad. It almost looks like my chin is like, I don't know how to explain this. It looks like I have little hairs poking out, but I definitely don't have hairs poking out. It's like the foundation is piling up, and even you could see that like the redness is coming through when I touch it like that. So I don't know, like I said earlier, why this foundation has been so hyped up. Maybe I've just been watching reviews where, I mean, I know I've watched reviews where it's not just oily skin girls, so I don't know what the deal is. Like I said, it all depends on your skin, and what works for me might not work for you, and what doesn't work for me might work for you. It all depends on your skin type. But if you are normal and like a little dry in like your T-zone area, I would say this is a pass. It's definitely not worth it. Thank God it was only like 12 bucks, so I'll donate this. Maybe I can find a friend who has oily skin and I can see if she likes it, but definitely a pass for me. So I hope this video was helpful to some of you. Let me know what you guys think of the new camera. Like I said, the lighting is all off because I shattered my one softbox, so I'm using like floodlights right now, so I know it looks a little janky, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've tried this foundation and what you think of it. Otherwise, I wanted to see if you guys could let me know. I'm asking you guys to let me know a lot, but let me know what the best day for you to upload is. Work is really busy for me, so I've only been able to pretty much record one video a week unless I'm like really wearing myself thin. So I'm gonna try to do 2 as I've been doing, but I might only be able to commit to 1 video a week, and I wanna know what day or days are better for you. So please let me know below. Otherwise, if you're interested in seeing more videos from me, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.